ABIA 89.7 FM, ABIA Vision Africa 104 FM, Umuahia. And also your darling radio station, Flow 94.9 FM, Umuahia. And it's also live on YouTube, Flow 94.9 FM YouTube page. We do have the Honorable Commissioner for Information, Chief John Okiyekade, responding to some questions and all things he wants to clarify as it concerns the re-election bid of Governor Okezie Ikpeazu. Another thing on the front burner, Honorable Commissioner, is the development of Umuahia as a capital city. It's been said severally in some quarters that Umuahia as a capital city is behind compared to other state capitals across the country. Looking at the neatness of the capital city and also some other things. What exactly? How do you want to react to this?
Thank you very much, Michael. I am also not satisfied with the state of development of Umuahia, the capital city. But you need to prioritize. We've never said to anybody that Governor Ikpeazu has done everything there is to do in Abia State. I'm happy that when you asked Alex Oti about the new government house, he said he will not prioritize it. That means at least on one score, he understands they need to prioritize expenditure to the areas of greatest needs. But having said that, I need to say something about one critical reason that will support development of capital cities. When you have elites of the state coming to Abia to make money in one form or another and heading straight to Abuja and Lagos to invest that money, there is a problem. I challenge Dr. Lesoti, I challenge Chief Uchoga, I challenge all Abia elites, come home and build houses in their state capital. If they are building here, investing here, Umuahia will become a lot better in terms of the total outlay of the town. Now, when you talk about development must not be done by government alone. Where are the investments, the tax yielding investment that Alesoti, where are his investment, tax yielding investment in Abia State? He can come here and sit down and tell us how to manage tax, but he doesn't pay kobo as tax to us. So how can he understand the process of tax payment in Abia State when he's not contributing shishi to it? He has investment in Lagos where he believes that security does not matter. Because in terms of every published report, insecurity in Lagos is by far higher than what it is in Abia. But he found comfort in Lagos to invest. He does not find any reason to invest in his home state, Abia State, to even pay kobo as tax so that we can now use that money to develop Umuahia and other places. But having said that, let me give you this assurance. Umuahia is first in the plan of Governor Okezie Ikpeazu for his second tenure. And I'll tell you a few of the things he will do. First, we have planned a new flyover to decongest Ishigate area. We are going to dualize Ekote-Umuahia Highway.
That's a federal road.
Yes, it's a federal road. You see, there are no federal citizens. We have realized that. But remember that Port Harcourt Road is also a federal road, and we've gone in to fix it.
Do you really have the power to dualize a federal road, or have you secured the
What are we doing in Port Harcourt Road? What are we doing in Port Harcourt Road? It's a federal road, correct? In any case, contrary to what Alex wished and tried to do, we now have $100 million from African Development Bank that is available to them for them to help us do 500 kilometers of road in Abia State. Note this, before tomorrow he will go and say that African Development Bank has given Abia State government $100 million. No, they have not given us. The money will be with them. They are the ones identifying the contractors. They are the ones that will execute the project, we will supervise, and we have given them a list. We think that from March, we should be able to do those 500 kilometers of road for the people of Abia State to use. Coming back to Umuahia, we are going to establish an agro-industrial cluster at Oban, Umuahia, and that should count for something. In addition to that, the Aba Road to Bakala Junction will be dualized for our people. And after that, we think that between Isikot area heading towards Isialangwa should be dualized. And it is part of our plan for second term. See, if anybody comes here to sit down to say, Ikpeazu has not done this, Ikpeazu has not done that, ask that person. Did Ikpeazu ever say he has done everything there is to do in 4 years? If your point against him is that he has not solved all ABIA problems in 4 years, clap for yourself. But if the question is, has he done enough to show capacity, to show intensity, to show desire, to show that he wants this state to be better? The answer is yes. Alex Otti admitted that he counted 59 rows out of the 71 we have done. That counts for something. And I'm sitting down here to tell you that contrary to their lies, all ministries, departments, and agencies of Abia state government that are supposed to be paid by the state government have been paid. Alex Otti said he didn't know where the 4 modern schools are, and the governor graciously gave him an address, or gave him the address of those locations. Has he visited those locations to verify? I am also telling him now that the same Governor Ikpeazu constructed 340 new classroom blocks, including 2 near his house in Arochukwu. 340 new classroom blocks. His friend, Rotimi Amechi, did not do up to that in Rivers State. I lived in Port Harcourt then. Rotimi Amechi did 250 and became a champion. Ikpeazu has done 340, renovated additional 19, and in the eyes of Alex Otti, Ikpeazu is not yet a champion. God is watching all of us.
Okay, I'm getting a feel that Pacesetter 103.5 FM is also transmitting this interview live. Thank you very much. Well, let's move on. Samson.
Okay, Commissioner, I want to take you back to issues of workers' welfare. Now, going forward, the election is just 16 days away now, and the governor is hoping that the people of Abia State would give him the nod,
including Abia workers, yes,
to continue, including Abia workers. But over time, the state government has admitted challenges in terms of salary issues with some parastatals, like you pointed out here, and the pensioners as well. So, going forward, what are the plans the government has to ensure that these ailing parastatals are kept running, and knowing again in terms of workers that they may not be bailed out again, they may not be maybe further inflow from the federal government? Like you said, the bailout is not a freebie.
The Paris Club refund
is not a freebie. So
the Paris Club refund, they are owing us $80 million. You can convert that. That should be enough for us to sort out as much as possible what belongs to our pensioners.
So should we are you going to rely on that to meet up?
I am just mentioning that so that you will know about it.
All right.
Having said that, there are 2 ways to manage the situation with those LM parastatals. I'm sure you know, just like many Abians know, that those parastatals make revenue, and they have the power by law to use the revenue to run the operations. What they must do is to look at their costs. If wages in Abia State Polytechnic amount to 1.8 billion per annum, what you must do is to ensure that you earn above 1.8 billion, correct? Now, to do that, you cannot sustain salary payment at your current student population level of about 12 to 13,000. You must go back to about 26,000. And how do you do that? How you do that is, 1, by ensuring the stability of academic calendar. 2, by offering more courses. 3, as a government, we are prepared to support every parastatal that is ailing, 1, by subvention and even by other means, because we are also concerned that the people working there are Abians. But when you try to narrow down the relationship between Abia State government and those parastatals, and you want to play politics with it, it is wrong. When you go to College of Education Technical Arochukwu, and you have a system where there are 500 students being serviced by 372 workers, it is suboptimal.
How were they recruited? Were they recruited without the approval of maybe necessary authority?
Let me also point this out to you. Institutions like Abia State Polytechnic, Abia State University, ASETA, and so on, have the right by their enabling law to recruit workers, set wages on their own. In fact, I said it yesterday that a lecturer at Abia State Polytechnic was transferred temporarily to Abia State University, a senior lecturer there, and he was given an offer, the offer of making professorship over time, Secondly, the offer of course, regular salary payment, because Abia State University is up to date with salary. And the man said no, that he wants to go back to Abia State Polytechnic. And when he was asked why, he said he was earning higher. How is it that Abia State Polytechnic will be paying higher than Abia State University? The answer should be found in the law and the institution with the labor group within which they operate. There is something called Polytechnic Teacher Salary Scale or whatever. The same applies to ASU. When ASU is fighting for salary, whatever they agree will become operational at Abia State University. So you see, we cannot stop Abia State University from hiring Wole Soyinka and agreeing a salary of $1 million per month, because they are expected to know what they need and what they can fund. If they hire Wole Soyinka, you should not come here and ask me why didn't the state government stop them. No, it's an academic institution operating within certain laws that even excludes us from certain level of supervision. It is just like asking me whether the state government is now marking students' results in those institutions. We don't mark students' results. People need to make this decision and ask one critical question. Why is it that two educational parastatals in Abia State, Abia Poly and Abia State University? Abia State University is up to date with salary, while Abia State Polytechnic is not up to date. What is the problem? And I will give you the answer by referring you to what happened with ASPEMS. As at October, when ACB Abazwere became the general manager of ASPEM, that institution was owing 3 months outstanding salary. Today, they have cleared the 3 months outstanding, paid January before the 25th of the month. They are not owing anybody. Something tells me that if those managing those institutions stop looking to government, with coming to government house with begging plates to collect money, if they start looking inwards, that they should be able to solve their salary payment challenges. I have observed in the past few weeks that even Abia Poly, the management of Abia Poly has started responding to the call of the governor for people to innovate to solve problems. I am now aware that just recently, TED Fund has offered them 800 million for projects. I am also aware that under 400 million has been given to them for the training of their teachers or their lecturers. So things are looking up. But if we continue to run a system where leaking pockets are funded by the government, it is not good governance, it is not good leadership. And those making claims must remember, and maybe you will allow me to go back to Diamond Bank so that I will tell you what happened to Diamond Bank. Because I know.
You have to do that in a minute because of our time.
I will try to do that in a minute. Because I heard where Alex was discussing his years in Diamond Bank, how he received the commendation from Obiofala. The fact is that as at the time that commendation was given, Obiofala didn't have all the facts. It is not when you cut a tree that it begins to dry up. He didn't have all the facts. The truth is that even when you are growing an institution, he said he grew the institution with workers and blah, blah, blah. You must match the growth with resources.
But he left the bank 5 years ago.
No, he left the bank, and the following year, the bank sacked 1,050 workers. What does he say to you? He says, we cannot cope. We are looking for survival means. Number two, who gave the facilities that led the bank into bankruptcy, so to speak? And he tried to pepper it, maybe because of the way you asked him that question, as if it was, this is a merger. No, what has happened is not a merger between Access Bank and Diamond Bank. It is a hostile takeover of Diamond Bank in order to save it from completely destroying depositors' funds. After the completion of that process, you will never hear of any name called Diamond Bank again. And that is because somebody who must have also been talking the way he's talking now about Abia State took some wrong decisions in management. I am saying to you that you should ask Alex Oti, is it true that as at 2015, Diamond Bank sacked over 1,000 workers? When did he leave Diamond Bank? August 2014.
Okay, Honorable Commissioner.
All right.
We're almost out of time.
Okay,
but, just before we leave the studio, can you confirm to us the cost of Osisoma flyover officially? I believe you should know.
What I can promise you is that I will speak to the Commissioner for Works, and get that information across to you.
All right.
There is something people must note about Governor Kezie Ekpazu. This is the only governor that no contractor will ever tell you that the governor took 1 naira from him. He feels, in fact, he laid off a contractor who offered him money because he asked the man a simple question. Oga, you quoted 10 million naira for this project, and you are telling me that I will get 10%. Does it mean that you padded this thing? That 10% you are supposed to give me, why don't you go and change the contract document and remove it and make this thing cheaper for our people? Governor Kezie Ekpazu will never agree to inflate any contract. He is a man you can never corrupt. The reason is that he is a proud Obingwa teacher. He knows he's not like the other man who, while he was an executive director in First Bank, was closing a whole floor of hotel in Lomeridian in Port Harcourt. And I'm saying he said that he will respond to it. Tell him that John Okikalu said that he was closing a whole floor of a hotel, flying helicopter everywhere. And at the end of the day, that Rainbow City in Port Harcourt, ask him what happened to Rainbow City in Port Harcourt.
All right. Let's call it a day because of our time. But in 30 seconds, why do you think the people of Abia State should bank on Governor Kezie Ekpazu? In 30 seconds.
Thank you very much. The people of Abia State know what Governor Ekpazu can do, what he has done. They also know that anybody can come here and promise heaven and hell. But they have seen what he has done. 71 completed road projects, 96 ongoing road projects, 359 new classroom blocks, 4 million tenera palm seedlings, Enyimba Economic City, a new leather city, a new leather shoemaking city already growing up in Abia State. You don't throw away a man who is doing for a man who says, I will do.
All right.
The people know that Governor Ekpazu may not have done everything there is to do in Abia State, but that certainly he has done some things and that he is ready to do more. Bank on the man who is ready to do more. Don't bank on the man who keeps making empty promises, whose last working place has collapsed because of his mismanagement.
Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner. That's how far we can go on this special broadcast of politics right now. We want to say a really big thank you to partner media houses, Pacesetter 103.5 FM, BCA 88.1 FM, Balls 89.7 FM, about Vision Africa Radio 104.1 FM, and of course your darling radio station Flow 94.9 FM. It is live on YouTube. You can check the conversation on YouTube and watch live. Thank you very much for being part of this conversation, Honorable Commissioner John Okikalu. Samson Eze.
Thank you very much, Michael.
My name is Michael Oni. Do have a fantastic time. And also, don't forget, election is not about war. It is not war. Votes without violence.